Heidi ho, my crafty friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. So today I thought that we would make, now I want to show you, hold on a second here. This is my very first journal. Look how big she is. And in this journal, I'm just going to do a really quick flip here until I find it again because I just had it. And I made the mistake of closing the book to turn on the camera. Here, we're going to make something like this. Now, these can be made. It's simple, it's easy, and you've probably seen it like 1,000 times. But you can make these in any of your journals, and they can have back here behind these little envelope windows any of your little pictures that might be too fragile to use someplace else in your journal. So from all of that vintage paper, antique paper that you have that you just don't know what to do with, this is where you can use it. You can take those pieces and you can put them here. See, it's just a torn out piece of paper and it's protected by that window and it's just glued down, and you could take that piece of paper, you could glue it down and then take Mod Podge or your preferred medium to go over top of it and protect over the top of it on this piece of paper. And then when you close it, you get to see it. Now, this envelope piece here, I collaged on. I'm probably not going to collage my envelope today. I am not a big collager. I don't have the patience for it, honestly. But if you like to collage your envelopes, go for it. But I wanted to show you, this is what we're going to do today. And the envelope that I have has 2 windows. But that's okay because I'm going to cover this up. But I'm going to leave this window open. And see how it jig-jogs down here? I'm just going to cover that up. Now, the first thing you have to do is measure your page. Now, I'm working on 3 journals. All those journals are different sizes. Now, let me move. This journal's name is Big Mama. Now, let me move Mama out of the way here. Back here. You know, I'm working on the Grandma's Love Journal, which is 1 size. We're working on our blue Reader's Digest Journal, which is a little bit smaller. I'm working in a private class with one of my subscribers, and that journal's even smaller. And then we just started a different journal, or we're getting ready to. That's a vintage journal, and it's a different size. So you need to kind of come up with a size that will fit anywhere. So I'm going to take this Reader's Digest journal, and I'm going to say this, even if all of my other journals are bigger or smaller, this is the size I want to choose from. So I'm going to measure this size. And if the next one, and if I decide to put it in a bigger book, that's okay. So you want to make sure that you come down at least a smidgen from the top. Okay, you don't want it all the way to the top, and you don't want it all the way to the bottom. Okay, so see, I'm up just a little bit from the bottom, and I'm down just a little bit from the top. Now, I don't know where all these papers came from, because I cleaned my desk off. And then you want to cut that. You don't want to cut this off, except when you go to cut that, okay? Because that's going to be your flip. Now, I know people just finished this envelope challenge, but I wanted to do this today because this was just on my heart and I just had to do it. So this is how it's going to sit on our page. Okay, so now make sure it fits on your page like this. Make sure there's nothing behind it. Okay, and make sure when you open it, it's going to open all the way. Okay, now back here, we're going to open this envelope up all the way. I'm sorry, I have a curl going in my mouth. We're going to open this up all the way because we're going to cover the inside of this. Now, if you like what the inside of your envelope looks like, then by all means, don't cover it. Now, I'm going to mark my page here. And you can cover the inside of your envelope with anything you choose. You can cover it with more book page if you want. You know, some of that book page that's so precious to you, you can cover it with that. You can cover it with cardstock. You can cover it with coffee dyed paper. You can cover it with anything, you know, anything you want. But carefully open it up so you have this flip. Okay, don't cut that off. You want to keep it because you want to be able to glue this back closed like this. Okay? You want to be able to glue it back closed. Now, I don't need my pencil right now. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I need to decide, do I want the right page or the left page? Now, I measured it for a right page. But if I flip back here a little bit, now I'm in my second signature. If I flip back here, and here it is, and I turn it around, I could put it on this side. And that would be okay too. I just have to get it fit where it needs to go. I could put it there if I wanted. I could put it right there. I just have to make sure that there's nothing back here that's going to be in my way. Okay. Now, I don't need, you know what? I just remembered something. Come here, Mama. Hold on a minute. I just remembered something. I think I'm thinking of two different things. Let's look at Mama again. Let's look at the example in Mama again. Where is it? No, we don't need the back piece. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of two different envelopes. We don't need this back piece. We don't need this. So go on and cut this off. You can go on and cut this off. Okay? I am so sorry. Mama, I'm glad you were close. We're going to put Mama right there. And we're going to move that up there. So let's do that. I was thinking of something else. So we're going to cut this apart. Okay, so now I have two separate pieces. Okay, and I don't need this. Told you I'm working on too many journals at one time. Okay. I do need this, but I want this to be straight. So let's put this in here and try to get this a little bit straighter. It just makes it easier to wrap around my page. Okay. Now, here's the page I want to put it on. Right here. I want to wrap it around this page, like this. Just like that. Okay? Yeah, that's what I want. Whew, good heavens. Okay, so we're going to put it up here. Oh my gracious. This is going to be a day. Sorry, I bumped you. I'm so sorry. I'm still bumping you. I'm trying not to bump you. I'm trying to stop the camera from shaking. Okay, so looking at Mama again, we need to cover the outside and we need to cover the inside. But we're not going to cover that. We're just going to cover whatever part of it that we don't want. So you could use any size of window that you wanted. You would just cover the pieces that you don't want to use, both inside and outside. So this is the paper that I chose right here. And on the inside here, I want to use this. So I want that to be on the inside of my of my window, okay? Or on my page, I'm sorry, on my actual page of my book. I want that on my actual page. So I'm going to cover, let me get a hold of it. I'm going to cover the outside with these butterflies. And then I'm going to cover the inside with these. And I want to take this little piece that I cut off for the length. And I'm going to use it down here to get rid of this little jig-jog in the window. Like that. To give me a little pocket down here. Okay, so let's cover our window. First, let's ink our envelope. Now, to ink our envelope, we have to be very gentle because we've just removed all of its support. So now it's really kind of wiggly jiggly. So let's get my cutting board off of here. Oh, I bumped you again. I'm so sorry. All right, so I have to be really gentle. Okay, so I'm just going to be really gentle here. Now, I don't care about this window because I'm covering it up. But I do want this done. Now, I'm not going to worry if I get oxide here because I can wipe it off with a baby wipe. But I do want to go around it. So I can take my oxide, there we go. I can just take a baby wipe and wipe that off the window. So I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm holding it down as I'm going around the edges. Like that. So I'm not tearing it up. Okay, so I got that side. Now I'm going to do the same back here, but I just want these corners back here. I just want to make sure because if I don't get something, like I said, I'm not worried about that. Because if I don't get something covered, you know, all the way to the end, I don't want the white showing. Now I gotta be really gentle here. And the project I was working on yesterday, that's what happened. I think that's why I was thinking I needed to leave that. Now this I'm covering completely because I'm not going to cover this, even though this envelope is coffee dyed. I'm still going over this. I want to get all those bumps and the marks from the coffee dye. I want to enhance them a little bit because it's going to be on the back of a page. There we go. Okay, so I'm done with that for now. Let's put that away. Now, my baby wipes, come here, are right here. Let's wipe up our desk so we don't get that on everything else. Let's give this a quick wipe. There we go. Get rid of that. And now there is oxide all over that window. So I can just take this and wipe it right off the window. So now the window's clean. And I can just put that right over there out of my way. Okay, now I didn't worry about that side. Now, if you want this to be narrow, you can, more narrow, you can cut it if you want. Okay, so I want this paper to cover this. So I'm going to take this paper. Now, I could just take it completely around like this if I wanted. take that acetate off that's already there, you know, that comes in it, and put my own piece on it, which, you know what, maybe we'll do that. Let's see if we can do that. See if I can get a hold of that. And we'll just add our own acetate. Let's do that. Instead of fussing and feuding with it, let's just do that. Now, let's go on and just cut that off. Because I have plenty of things to go in there. So I'm just following it around. Now I could try to tear it off, but I don't want to tear the envelope. After all that work, I do not want to tear that envelope. Okay, let's just get that off of there. There we go. Okay, so now my finger's coming through, and you might hear PJ here for a minute because the neighbor's cat is going kind of crazy. I don't know what's going on with the neighbor's cat. Okay, we heard her out there just doing that little howl that cats do, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, I think this has a direction. I think that's the direction. Let's see. So I want it that way. Or do we want that on the front? I think I like that better. I know that has a direction. Let's use that for the pockets. All right, so I want this to go here. Now I'm just going to glue this down, and then we're going to cut that out, okay? Now I'm just going to use my favorite Icky Sticky. Oh my gosh. This is about the only glue stick I use anymore. The others I am discovering do not stick well. And I know there's been a lot of talk lately about, you know, glue sticks versus other glues. And so you guys pick the adhesive that you like best. This is the glue stick that I like, but it's getting harder and harder to find. And when my supply of them is gone, then I will stick with my liquids. But I have them, so I am going to use them. And this one actually sticks. It is goopy and gooey, and it actually sticks. Okay. Now let me make sure I'm going the right way. Okay, so I am going to put that down. Now, before I cut out the big piece, I am going to cut out the window. Because it will keep it a little bit firmer. Okay, let's get those little pieces off. If I try to cut it out on the little piece, I'm afraid it will tear. All right, so here's my knife. Now I'm just going to follow around on the inside. And I think I'm going to stop right there. Let me just get my little ruler here. And I am going to line this up right there and go right there because I don't want to cut below that line. Okay. Okay. Now, if you don't like using a knife, you can use your scissors to do this by all means. And I have one of those little knives, you know, that you put on the end of your finger and it's supposed to curve. I can't figure it out. Mine doesn't curve, or I can't make it curve. It goes in all kinds of directions. So I just quit using it. I figured I was going to end up cutting myself. So I quit. I quit trying to mess with it. Okay, where did I mess? Right there. Okay, I didn't get through all the way right there. And, oh, I missed the corner. I would like a shorter one of those, though. You know, if they made one of those with a shorter handle, I would like one of those. There we go. Okay, so let's continue that little cut there. So now I have a shorter window. And nobody knows that there's another one there and that goes longer with a little funky doody jiggy jug. But I do want to round that a little bit, you know, to kind of make it look the same. So I'm going to use the top of this and I'm going to place it right there. And I'm going to grab my pencil and I'm going to place this inside here. So to give me that same rounded edge, I'm just going to follow that around. And I don't think you can see it, which is a good thing because it's not straight. It's about as crooked as I can be. So let's line this up. And I want to bring it down. Right in there. Now let's make sure my line is straight. Okay. Come on, straighten up. There. Okay, so I'm going to draw this right there. And then I'm going to draw that so that it matches. Oops. There we go. So how many of you out there are gardeners? Are any of you that are watching gardeners? Have you started your gardens yet? I'm in zone 6. For those of you that are a gardener. And I've already got my, well, I'm starting it anyhow. You know, it's still a little early for us to really do much. But my potatoes are in there. So now my window looks the same. Okay, so now I can cut this out. Now, I don't want to cut that out, remember, so we need to turn that over. Now you could, if you wanted, you could do that. You most definitely could. Yeah, my potatoes went in and My tomato seeds just got planted today. I need to still do my pepper seeds today. Do you guys buy plants or seeds? Or do you plant seeds? That was my question to the gardeners. Okay, so there's our little thing that's going to be on our page. Now let me find the book here and I'll show you. And I did it backwards. Gosh darn it. It was going to be on that page like that. And I wanted it over there, didn't I? So now I do have to, because now if I do it that way, the paper's upside down. Darn it, darn it. So now it is going on this side. It's the only way my paper's up the right direction. Being right-handed, you know, that's the way I seem to do things all the time. Okay, so now my other page, I want to cover that. That was why I wanted to switch it. Or maybe we could put it, maybe let's put it over here on this darker brown. Yeah, I like that better. I like that better. Okay, because that'll work with my idea better. Okay, so down here, all right, had to move my bookmark. All right, down here, I want to cover our little pocket. So this can just be glued down. Goodness sakes, Lori. Silly girl. So I can just glue this part down. I don't need this open. Let's glue that down. So here's my pocket right here. Okay, so I just need to cover that. So I can either make it the same paper or I can make it a different paper. Okay, and it's gonna sit right there. Now, I like the butterflies, but now that I see them with it, I don't particularly like them with that paper. So I think I'm gonna use the coordinating paper on the back to cover this. And I'm gonna do it over here. So let's cut this off here because I think it'll be easier to manipulate. Let's do it that way. Okay, so I just want to cover the front of it like this. So and then of course, being just a plain color, we can decorate it any way we choose. Okay, so here's this for our little pocket. Okay, now our little pocket is going to sit right here, just like that. Now, if you want, you can put the pocket on the back. Now, we still have the back to cover. And the back, you don't have to have, oh, the little pocket needs to be a little bit shorter. Because it's going to show through that window. Okay, it's not showing through the window. Okay, so now we need to cover the back. So the back, and of course this will need trimmed. So let's go on and do that. It's easier to do it now than trying to do it when you can't see the lines. So let's go on and do it now. Okay, so now that's trimmed. Now we're going to cover the back the same way we did the front. And you can cover the back any way you choose. You can cover it with the same paper. You can cover it with a different paper. You can cover it with a coordinating paper. Totally and completely up to you. And I might cover it with the coordinating paper and make that the pocket on the back. Or, like I said, this was the paper I wanted to put back here. Just because it's different. Now I pulled out of my book. Now this is the book that I'm referring to. I have this old, it's the Edwardian Lady birthday book. And I've had it for years and years. Now it's not mine. I bought it secondhand at a store, and whoever had it, you know, she wrote birthdays and anniversaries and things like that in it. So I've just been tearing little pictures out of it. But I did pull out, and I don't know if it's going to fit. I did pull this page out that I thought, I'll see my page is a little bit too big, but I wonder if we could trim it. See, because we're going to cut that out anyhow. I wonder if we could trim this envelope down to make this picture fit. Oh, but see, then I'm going to cut out. How much am I going to lose of my picture? So if I move this over a little bit. Now, I'm just trying to adjust it so I can see my window. There's that window is right there. Oh, wait, is this upside down? Oh, it is. Okay, so if I adjust it, I see all of this, but I lose this part. So I have another one in here too. Now I'll lose all of that. So there was another one in here. That was a big one. Let's see if I can find it again. This one. So let's see how much of this one we would lose. Okay, this one we wouldn't lose much of. We would just have to make it shorter. This one I really liked, but we would lose all of the birds. I wish I would have been paying attention because then I'd been able to use it. Now that one might work. Now that one will work. So let's take this one out. And I can never get them out when I want to get them out. Yeah, because the window's right over here. Okay, so now for this one, the only thing I would lose on this is a little bit of height. And if I scoot it, I would lose some height. Let me make it straight here. Yeah, I would just lose a little bit of height. Yeah, I can make that work. So let's see how we make that work. Okay. So let's put that in there and let's see. Because I don't want to lose these guys and most of the flowers. I don't mind losing that little bud, but I don't want to lose, you know, most of the flowers. So I'm standing it up here. I know it's probably a little hard. Let me see if I can adjust here for you. Hold on. So you can see what I'm looking at. Right here is my window. Right here. And I'm trying to see with the light now let me fold that back. The best place to put this and not lose all of the flowers okay, I think right there. Now I will have to cut it in length a little bit, or if I moved it up, then I would just have, I'd have that, but I would lose all the middle of the stem and that entire little one. Now if I move it down, all I get is a stem and I don't get anything else. So I would rather have it up. Yeah, we'll just lose a little bit on the bottom. So that'll be okay. So we're gonna put it up here. And we're going to scoot it over. So up and over is what we want. Nope, that's a little bit too far over. I don't mind if I lose the dragonfly's rear end, but I don't want to lose all the flowers. Right there. Right there. Okay, so I'm going to put it right there. So let me grab a paper clip here so I can I'm going to paper clip it right there. Okay, now let me put you back down here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down before, well, there's both of my knives, before I do any cutting so that it's straight. Okay, now I'm going to lift this up. And I'm going to put that down. Oops, get off of there. Okay. So that is glued down. Now if I have to run some more glue in the center, I can use my art glitter glue. All right, so I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to use this here to cut this out. Right here. Yeah, see, and I don't have any glue right there. So let's use this because I can get my tip underneath there. Right there. Oh, I didn't get any out. Okay, now that's glued down. All right, now let's cut this out. I'm sorry if you hear my chair. I don't sit flat on the ground. I sit up. You know, my table's up. And my chair's decided it wants to make some noise today. And I whompered up my knees, so my leg doesn't bend right now, and my knee is hanging. Okay, so let's see where we missed. We missed over here. Okay, and we missed up here. And I missed up there. There we go. Now let's see. Oh, well, that's not too bad. Now let's cut it off over here. Let's get this cut off straight. Okay. Now we're going to have to trim the bottom. So let's turn this way. Now I'm going to hold it down with my ruler here and hope I don't cut it off. We're going to trim that off. Okay. Oh, so far so good. Now I'm going to leave that down there because I think I want to round my corners on this. It's starting to look like a little box. So I think I do want to round my corners on this. Let's cut this off. Okay. Now, what we got left here on the paper? Well, see, we didn't cut off a whole lot of that, did we? Good. Now, I do like that. Yes, I do. I do indeed. I do indeed. Now, my corner rounder here. I'm going to give you a little chomp. And you a chomp. Oh, nicely done. Nicely done. I like that. Now, I want to hold on to this. Okay, I like that picture, and I'm so glad we kept the, we were able to keep the dragonflies. Okay, so I want to get on the inside here. You know what we didn't do? We didn't add our acetate back. Oh, well. I knew I was forgetting something. Okay. So now, what are we going to do on our page? I have an idea. As soon as I saw what picture we were adding, I had an idea. Excuse me. Now, let's get this off of here. Okay, so our picture is going to sit, or our flip is going to sit like this. Okay, so this needs to bend back so it will go. There we go. So it goes on our page like this. Now remember, not all the way to the top, not all the way to the bottom. It goes like this. And I really wish I would have remembered to do that. And it is going to attach to the back of the page here. Underneath here, we have this left, plus we have these other little pictures that we pulled out. Well, I have this little piece that is very similar to that, but it's a smaller version. I want to use this. So I'm just going to tear it out. I'm just, roughly tearing it out. And I'm just going to make sure it's rough on all the edges. And I'm using my hands because I want it rough. And then I'm going to take my dauber and my vintage photo. And I'm going to ink it up really good. Because I want it to look, you know, kind of old, scruffily. That's why I say these can go in any type of journal. There, like that. You know, you can even pick all your pieces out ahead of time and get them put together. Like, I could pick this out to go with something. I could tear it like this, do all my inking like I just did, and then whatever I want to put it with, and then whenever I'm ready to create something with it, it's ready to go. I could attach it, I could paper clip it to my envelope, and then that piece is ready to go in a book someplace. That piece is now ready to go in a book. Okay, so now this, I'm going to put back here like this. And you want to center it so you can see it. If it's too big, tear it down, however you want to tear it down. But I want to hide something in mine. So I want mine to kind of straighten up a little bit. Now I'm going to go on and glue this in because it's... Okay, I'm going to go on and glue mine in. So I can finish what I'm doing. So, because this is a little heavy, you need to make sure that you get your corners well. And if you want to attach it with a piece of washi tape over it, feel free. I probably will with this one. Okay, so now that I have it where I want it, I want mine here. And then this little guy, this little sticker right here, I want him out here, like that. So you're not going to be able to see him except maybe a little bit. So maybe I bring him down so you really don't see him much underneath. I don't want to see him. I want him peeking up at it. Okay. Now let's get that glued in. I want the little bitty guy, I want him to be a surprise. Yeah, I don't want you to be able to see it or see him. Okay, so there's that. Come on, straighten up. Okay. Now this little guy right here, this little guy, make sure you can see him here. That little guy, he looks like he's looking up going, whoa. So let me get him off of here. Let me get a hold of him. I think my Band-Aid might be interfering. Nope, there he is. Okay, so let me close this. Oops, I guess he's going right there. All right, he picked where he wanted to go, and that's where he's going. Okay, there we go. You're a little cutie patootie. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm loving it. I am loving it. What do you think? Tell me what you think. Now, we got to put our pocket there. Where did our pocket go? Where did our pocket go that we made? Here it is. So we still have to put our pocket there. That little guy is a little cutie patootie, isn't he? So we can decorate our pocket. And I think I am going to round these corners. Where's my corner rounder? Here it is. I want to round my corners here. Let's see. I need to round this one. Right there. And on here, I think I want to put butterflies. Now, I found these little Easter stickers. And I just thought they were so pretty. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with them, but I just wanted to share them with you. I think I either got them at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or I don't know. But they're so much more colorful than these. So, you know what? We're going to go with one of these butterflies. All right, let's put our pocket on here. Now, you could make this a double pocket if you wanted, but because this is so heavy, I don't think I'm going to do that. Okay, I don't need that glue right there. Oops, I got glue on the little guy's head. Sorry, little man. Okay, here we go. There. Now, there's my paper towel right there. I knew I had it. Okay. Let's see. Do these? No, they do not go. Okay, I'll find a butterfly to put on there. Yeah, because we're going to have to put something on there. Maybe this little flower. I don't know. I'll find something to put on there. Okay. There. I like that page. Alrighty, you guys. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today for our fun foray using some old envelopes, decorating in our little blue journal here. That was a lot of fun. I haven't made one of those in a very, very long time. So that was a lot of fun. And I hope that you had fun too. And I hope that you create one because they're quick and easy. And you can just add all kinds of little surprises like that. So until I see you again in our next Ladybug Journal video, ta-ta for now.